Hey there, Eagles. You are flipping in fifth with me, Mrs. G. Today we're going to be talking about Topic 11, Lesson 6. And today's learning target is, I can multiply mixed numbers. We do have a couple of vocabulary words. I know you've had them before. I want you to write them down anyway, just to make sure that you remember. First of all, mixed numbers. Well, that includes a whole number and a fraction. An example of this would be like 2 1/3. And then an improper fraction is when the numerator is larger than the denominator. It means that there's a hidden whole number in the fraction. So this would be an improper fraction, 13/10. So we need to simplify that because it's improper, which means it's naughty, so you can't leave it that way. So 13/10, we would divide 13 divided by 10, and we would get 1. We'd have 3 left over as our remainder, and 10 would be our denominator. Now, you already know this, but we're going to go over it again because it's really important. In order to multiply mixed numbers, you need to know how to change a mixed number into an improper fraction. So here we have 1 3/10. So the first thing we're going to do is multiply the numerator times the whole number. So 10 times 1 equals 10. Next, we're going to add that product to the numerator. So 10 plus 3 equals 13, and this number becomes the numerator of the improper fraction. And then the denominator from the fraction of the mixed number becomes the denominator of the improper fraction. So we're just going to carry the 10 over. So 1 3/10 is actually equal to 13/10. This is the mixed number. This is the improper fraction. Now to go through and multiply mixed numbers, you're going to have to change them first to improper fractions. Here's today's problem of the day. Mrs. G, that's me, wants to make pancakes for every member of Team Gerwell before state assessments. The recipe calls for 2 1/4 cups of pancake mix and 1 2/3 cups of milk. She needs to triple the recipe to feed everyone. So how much pancake mix does she need? Well, before we go through here and try to start solving this problem, we first need to highlight the question. The question it's asking us is, how much pancake mix does she need? Notice, pancake mix. So now we have to highlight the important information and make sure we don't highlight information we don't need. So the first thing we need to think about is triple. I need to triple the recipe. So triple is another word for 3 times 3. Now, do I care about how many cups of milk I need? No, because I need to know how much pancake mix I need. So the other important piece of information is that I'll need 2 1/4 cups of pancake mix. And again, I need to triple it. So what does that multiplication problem look like? Well, it's going to be 2 1/4 times 3. Now we can't just go ahead and multiply this the way it is. The first thing we have to do is we need to change this to an improper fraction, and we need to change this whole number to a fraction. So how would we do that? Well, the first thing we're going to do is estimate, because before we solve a problem, we want to estimate to make sure that our answer is reasonable. So remember when we were estimating mixed numbers, we started by looking at the denominator of the fraction. So what is 1/2 of 4? Well, 1/2 of 4 is 2. Is 1 less than or greater than 2? Well, it's less than. So we know this 2 is going to round, 2 1/4 will round to 2. Now the 3 we don't need to round because it's already a whole number. So we know 2 times 3 is 6. So our estimate is going to be 6. Now it's time to solve it. So we need to change our mixed number to an improper fraction first. And you'll remember from before that we have to multiply 4 times 2, that gives us 8, add 1, and that's 9, and we just bring our denominator down. So 2 1/4 equals 9/4. Now we need to change this whole number into a fraction. So how do you change a whole number into a fraction? Well, it's really easy. You just put a 1 underneath. So now we can go through and we can multiply like we've already learned. 9 times 3 is 27, and 4 times 1 is 4. So 27/4. So can I leave my answer this way? No. This is an improper fraction, so now we need to change it into a mixed number. That's how we simplify an improper fraction. So we're going to do 27 divided by 4. Here we have 27 under the house divided by 4. We know it goes in 6 times with a remainder of 3. So we know that our mixed number will be 6, and then our remainder is our numerator, and the 4 will be our denominator. So 6 3/4. 6 3/4 is equal to 27/4. Do you remember back when we did the estimate for this problem? Do you remember what we got? Well, we got 6. So is 6 close to 6 3/4? Yes. So that's how we know that this answer is in fact reasonable. Now go ahead and try this one. 2 1/6 times 4 1/2. Remember, you cannot multiply until you change these into improper fractions. Go ahead and pause the video, figure it out, simplify it, make sure you give it back to me, not in an improper fraction, but a mixed number, and then check to see if we got the same answer. Coming back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, first of all, did you estimate? Okay, so if we were going to estimate, which we're going to do every single time, we would estimate 2 1/6 to 2, because half of 6 is 3 and 1 is less than that. So that's going to be 2. And this 1/2, we know anytime we have 1/2, you automatically go up to the next whole number. So our estimate is 2 times 5 equals 10. Now if we were to solve it, we would change 2 1/6 into 13/6. Then we would change 4 1/2 into 9/2. Multiply that together, we get 117/12. But this is an improper fraction, so we need to change it to a mixed number. So we would do 117 divided by 12, which gives us 9 3/4. If you didn't get that answer, go back and check your math and see what you did wrong. Okay, now it's your turn to try your practice problems for tonight. Here are your practice problems. I want you to estimate and find the product for each and every one. Remember, when you get down to number 4, it looks a little bit crazy because we have some things in parentheses, but I want you to take special note of adding and subtracting. We've already talked about adding and subtracting mixed numbers. When you add and subtract mixed numbers, remember you have to have a common denominator, and then you're going to end up multiplying those two together. This one might take a little bit of perseverance, but I believe in you. I think you can do it. Go ahead and pause the video, copy down the problems, and work them out. Remember, estimate and find the product, and come back when you're ready for the answers. Coming back in 5, 4, 3, 2, here they come. Here are your answers for tonight. The answer for the estimate for number 1 is 9. The product is 6 3/8. For number 2, your estimate was 18 and your product should have been 19 1/2. For number 3, your estimate should have been 8 with your product of 9 1/2. Number 4, this was the doozy. Your estimate was 6 and your product was 5 7/9. And number 5, your estimate was 3 and your product was 3 3/4. Remember, make sure you've checked your work and you wrote how many you got correct out of 5. Be honest, it's not for a grade, and we can go over anything you had questions about tomorrow. Honestly, fill out the self-reflection. Could you teach a friend, or are you still confused? And fill in the space for any questions you still have. I hope you enjoyed learning about multiplying mixed numbers, and we look forward to working with you in small groups tomorrow. Bye-bye.